Summer Book Marketing Summit. I'm Natalie McQueen, and my partner Becky Norwood and I are so excited that you're joining us. This is an event that you don't want to miss. We have 33 experts that will empower you with marketing tools and techniques to become that impactful influencer that will really help bring your story, your wisdom, and impact to the world. These fabulous speakers have incredible knowledge to share with you, some deep, dark secrets that are only available here, and amazing gifts to give away. Our sponsor for the event is Spotlight Publishing, and if you haven't heard, they are giving away a publishing package worth $10,000 to one VIP winner. So if you haven't upgraded to VIP yet, it's not too late. Go in and upgrade, and this will allow you to get all the recordings from these amazing speakers on top of all their fun gifts and amazing offers. And then you will be put into the drawing for that publishing package, which can get you started publishing and spreading the word about your book. So if you have a book idea and you want to dig a little deeper, go to spotlightpublishing.pro and make a time with Becky and I. Let's talk about your book idea and see where we can take it. So now I am so excited about this speaker. She is phenomenal, and I'm going to let Becky introduce her the way that she should be introduced.
Thank you, Natalie, and hello and welcome, Toni. Your microphone is on or off.
I got
it. So, Toni, we are very, very blessed to have Toni Kaufman to be our next presenter. She was born and raised in Mission, Texas, and is known for her entrepreneurial ventures. Her new book, Act Two, Your Show Must Go On, the Baby Boomer edition, and her popular radio show and podcast, The World Class Mentor. She's amazing. The show is designed to highlight and honor the powerful influence of mentors and people from all walks of life. Toni's production and casting background in both English and Spanish, so she's bilingual and very talented, are famous for her discovery of international talent and beauty across the televised game show industry. Toni's a well-known corporate and marketing professional with extensive experience in communications between IT experts and executives. She has a rich background within a variety of industries and is an experienced executive at management levels. So there's a lot more to be spoken about, but she is also a #1 Amazon best-selling author. I'm getting that all torn in 8 business categories. Her book, Act Two, Your Show Must Go On, is, oh my goodness, I got to read this one. And she's the founder of City Speaks nonprofit. But aside from all of that, Toni and her team have been behind the scenes working with us to produce this telesummit. And our hats off to her, because I know I would never want to try and do that ever by ourselves, because it was enough to produce the show just as it is, let alone with all of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Your team is amazing, Toni, and so are you. So thank you very much.
All the recordings, everything. Toni, wonderful. Thank you.
This is what we do for stress relief, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You've relieved our stress.
It's really funny, but Charles and I were just having a conversation a few minutes ago, and he's like, I really love doing this because it's just a highlight of our lives. We get to play with you and then listen to your guests, and then we pick up, there's nuggets of gold in every single conversation that you have. And so in my mind, I'm doing snippet, cut. I know where I want to cut for these. But just the fact that you've hosted, 30 some speakers, and there was a waiting list of another 10. That's how important what your topic is to our world. And so number one, I honor the fact that I'm here with you, and I honor the fact that you guys have done an incredible job. And so proud to be involved. Thank you for all of us at KDDM Works, and for myself especially. Thank you.
Thank you, Toni. This has been awesome for us too, because what has been fascinating is a lot of these people we've been working with for our own packages, but the interweaving, because a lot of these experts didn't know the other experts and how it brings worlds together. It's been fascinating. And every one of them have been so generous to express what they have done. So, man, as far as feeling blessed, Natalie and I truly feel blessed by the people that said yes to us.
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree. So and it's funny because the plumber's house, right? So I leave myself towards the end. I'm late getting you the information. I can't figure out what questions I want you to ask me. I'm so much better behind the camera.
No, you're not.
Well, it's just like us. We have had our own book on publishing behind the scenes, halfway written for months now, and it's still not done because we're creating courses, we're doing the telesync, we're working with authors. Getting it done is like, oh my gosh, we're not leading by example, but like every plumber has a leaky faucet.
Do what I say.
Don't
Yes, I do. Yes.
So tell us about your Act 2 book. I want to hear.
Well, the short story of the book is that it's something that I had in my mind because I was so deeply wounded by a company that I thought I was going to grow old and retire with. It happened in a variety of, just a series of ways that was very painful. And so when I finally got home and realized, okay, you don't need to check your email anymore, because I was putting in 80 to 100-hour weeks. I mean, that was pretty normal. And I was the chief of staff of global IT at the SAP division for a huge corporation, and worldwide. And so I did the follow the sun customer support. So all my PowerPoint shows for the executives went on at all hours of the day and night, because at 12 o'clock our midnight is noon India, and then 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And so I always had that whole clock thing going. But
sleep?
Sometimes.
Wow.
But it's so funny because the stress, you don't really know it or feel it while you're going through it. But when you get sick, it's like your body just says, enough.
I'm done.
I'm done. And so that's another book I've got in the works that you guys are going to help me with. It's called God's 2x4. Because I was literally, he shoved me and he pushed me and he made me notice, and then finally he just grabbed a 2x4 and went, shut up and sit down. Listen. And so that's the pain that was caused by being laid off, fired, or separated from your job, for especially the baby boomers of this country, is quite severe. And the expectations are, well, let me start it with this way. My point of view is the American dream is dead.
It is.
We're told from the very beginning, if you work hard and go to school, and then you work hard and go to college, and then you work hard and get a job, and then you work hard, you rise up the ladder, and then you work hard and you retire and you live happily ever after.
And you have a pension and you have all this.
Oh, yeah, the golden umbrella or something like that.
Right.
The golden parachute. The reality is that right now, as far as I can tell, based on the research on the book, there are over 45 million baby boomers that are laid off, fired, or separated from their jobs as of right now in the United States.
My husband is one of those, and it was his 60th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to work after 43 years doing the same thing, same routine. He's very, very knowledgeable in what he does, and then bye.
Yeah. There was nothing. They didn't care.
And that's all he knew. He didn't have, that's what he did. That's
our generation, our job is who we are.
Right.
I mean, you meet somebody and hi, I'm the IT blah 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 blah, and I'm this person, and I'm the risk manager, and I'm the manager of this, and you're the I'm whatever your title was.
Right.
And so there's a very definite crack.
Right.
When you're not anymore. Mm-hmm. And now you have to sit back, and even worse was the fact that that we sent probably, oh gosh, I probably sent 200 resumes out. And at that time I was only 57. So I thought I had a chance of getting another job. And that's what, you're trying to do, is to pick up the pieces so you can continue with your planning, et cetera, et cetera. And oh wow, it was really, I was broken.
Yeah. I see today's young people that are so totally they're used to the fact that they grew up with the fact that they may have 50, 100 different kinds of jobs as they grow up, but the baby boomers were not raised that way. They were not ever thought or even taught to think about that bigger picture and what that's going to look like.
They were looking to their companies and thought, like you said, that they would retire from there and be looked after.
Right. Well, the numbers are so severe that quite honestly, right now we're looking at, within the next 5 to 10 years, over 68 million baby boomers who are going to be sitting in their home wondering what the hell happened. Where am I going to get money from? I don't have enough to retire. I've got to go get another job. And quite honestly, with the advent of AI, with the advent of the millennials, with the advent of everybody looking for the same kind of jobs at a lower pay scale, because that's about the majority of the jobs that are going to be around here for just a limited time, we're in trouble. The whole country's in trouble. And so that was basically what Act 2 was about, is number one, slap your face and say, listen to me, this is happening, here's the numbers, here's the layoffs, here's the companies that you thought you were safe with. And one company alone was responsible for 120,000 layoffs in 5 years. One company alone. Wow. All right. Now, here's another fun part. And not having anything to do with politics, but in the last 2.5 years, the administration has given a variety of grants. You don't have to pay back, to the point of to the amount of like $19 billion in grants I'm talking about 7 companies. Okay, 19 billion with a B dollars in grants to maintain the American workforce. And guess what? I followed each one of those companies and put them into a bar chart and put them in my book. And every single one of them laid off Americans and outsourced to India. Every single one of them.
Oh, wow.
I mean, over 19,000 jobs laid off after they got the money. No repercussions.
But what I find is what it does to the individuals that were counting on these retirements, and to figure out what on earth am I going to do with myself. I don't have enough to retire. I can't. We're living longer as
oh yeah,
we're living longer, but where's the money going to be? And it's such a scary thing.
Well, let me explain you something. I just finished doing, for the past year, I had an insurance company as one of my clients, and I was doing marketing for them. When Social Security was first put into effect, people were living to 60. Okay, that was probably 50 years ago. So in the span of 40 to 50 years, our lifespan went from 60 to 90. Yep. Okay, that's over 40 years. That means that if medicine keeps doing the wonderful, fabulous things that it's doing, you are looking at your grandchildren, and they have the potential of hitting 120 years old.
Right.
That's scary, because that's the proof in the pudding. We went from 60, literally 40 years, to 90, literally 40 years to give it another 30. Yeah. So you're looking at children who are going to hit 100, 110, 150 years old. And that if you're still looking at social,
That's a lot of living.
when you're 67, ain't gonna happen, guys.
100 is the new 50.
Well, I thought like 60 was. Anyway. So anyway, enough of the bad news. Here's what I did is I basically I'm taking people in the book through the journey of where we are, and I'm using Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, because I was raised in movie theaters, and so I used to think that all of life had a resolution in 90 minutes, and if you couldn't face the problem in 90 minutes, you were okay. So 90 minutes to resolution, and then I take the hero's journey and I walk us through it. And so we've got some worksheets in the book that basically have the hero's journey. It's a clock from 12 to 12. And on every single one of the steps, if you are where I was, laid off, fired, separated, you are at number 6. You're at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is called death and rebirth, because you have a choice. You're either going to give up on everything or you're going to come out a better person, right? Something's going to evolve. So I take us on that journey. And then on top of that, as soon as you're finished figuring out where you are, now I take you through the Jungian archetypes, which we have developed into who you are, whether you're the hero, the caretaker, the magician, the sage, the everyman, the warrior, whatever your personality is. I want you to think, I tell people in the book, think of who you were when you were working, and now think of who you are now. Because that's going to determine what you're going to be best at to do one of 3 things that you've got to do in this book. Number 1 is, here's the options, guys. You're going to go back to work, find an employer somewhere who wants you, go back to work. Number 2, you're going to become a mentor for someone. And how do you become a mentor, which ties into our show, The World Class Mentors. And then number 3 is, for God's sake, please become an entrepreneur. And so whether you're going to be a speaker, healer, author, coach, or whether you're going to open up a coffee shop in the corner, at least if you're going to kill yourself, do it for you.
Yeah, stay busy and use that mind, use it and keep active, because I watch people that have gone through this, and some of them get so sad and despondent that you're like,
yeah,
what are you doing with your life? And there's so much wisdom and years of experience there that needs to be brought back to the life, because
absolutely. Now the one thing I do warn everybody, there is a 4th option, but I do warn people against it because they have no idea what they're doing with it, is buying a franchise.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people who are buying a franchise and they're promising and encumbering their entire 401k to open this $300,000 franchise, and they're seeing the excitement of it and the potential money, but they're not seeing that you just adopted a baby, guys.
Right.
At 65, I'm not ready to adopt a baby. I don't want to work on it day and night and stay up in diapers. And that's what a franchise is. You're starting.
We've heard the statistics on that, and too many people are just completely wiping out everything that they have, and these things are not profitable.
Yeah. And let me tell you what's happening. And I wish I could remember the word, and I apologize for not studying up on it before, but there is a word in the world of franchises that is basically means that this is stalled. They have a series of thousands and thousands and thousands of franchises that have been bought in certain areas of each city, because you buy the area around your city, right? Like Houston can have, 14,000 Starbucks, but you can't be so close to the other one, that kind of thing. All right, and I'm just pulling that number out of the air. But what's happening is that people are buying the franchises, getting the areas of town, the mileage around it, the preliminary, the secondary, and the tertiary marketplace of that franchise. And then one of them gets sick, or they have an accident, or they have to use their money for something, and they can't open it. So the franchisor cannot sell it again, and it's just sitting there stalled, and it'll never be opened, but they've lost all their money. They can't use their money. They can't open the franchise, and now they're back to square one.
And don't the franchisors get their money first when it's open?
Oh yeah, no, it's sold. Yeah, it's sold. Your 401k is encumbered. So, welcome to America.
Right.
So, with your permission, I'm going to share my screen a little bit.
Oh,
Here's
absolutely.
what we wanted to do. The logical next step is what I found so exciting about writing this book is it finally, after 3 years, allowed me to put in place what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, what I wanted to talk about for the rest of my life, what I wanted to create talks on and guide people with and show them value. So how do you use your book to grow your market? Man, that is the number one thing I've heard for the past 3 years at every single speaker event, and I think you'll agree with me, is I have no clarity.
Yes.
Okay, that's the number one thing you hear is, well, I want to do something, but I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what to do. You know what? Write your book. You'll find out real fast what you're good at.
Well, that's what led me to this business.
Exactly, and you're
Yeah.
so good at it. So, how to use your book to grow your market? Once you get a book, you're going to get speaking gigs. Now you can get a press release out. Now you can get to all of your friends in a mass email asking them to go to Amazon and for 99 cents get your book and write a review, because as soon as you get the first 10 reviews, what happens? Now I can pull it up to $9.99, right? Or whatever price you decide. So that's what I thought I would talk about, is how I'm using the book to really get clarity, to know what I'm talking about, to get my message out, to get the value out to my clients, and to be able to understand how to market my business using the book as a way to prove very quickly that I have authority and credibility and credentialing.
Yep.
3 things you must have if you want anybody to listen to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the last line says, a little gift. That's a little surprise for you. Just a second. So let's go click on that. And so that's basically how I've been using this book and what I have in mind for it. So I wrote a book. Now what, right? So
Yep.
so I think that's where a lot of your clients are as well. Is, okay, I've got a book. It's an ebook right now. I need to go to print. I have no idea what I'm doing in the print world. So guess who I called? Ghostbusters over here. So, I mean, the book is great. It's doing good. Sales are good. I did hit number 1 in 8 business categories during my life. And I even had a chance to even alter some of the categories because I wanted it to guide it back into some self-development and actualization versus just business. And so I really wanted to inspire people to find out who they are, where they are, and then go forward with that in mind. And so that's what the book's all about. That's how we're using it to market. So the next one is, how did you find the big idea? The big idea was in my head for 3 years before it ever came out. What brought it out? Finding someone like you that said, you got 8 weeks. What are you going to do? I've already put it out on Amazon. If you don't have it uploaded in 8 weeks,
Yeah.
you'll be blackballed from Amazon.
Yeah, you are.
Like, what have I done to myself? So
yeah, that gets you moving.
I'll tell you what, and with her 6th degree black belt, I had to get it done because she was going to beat me up if I didn't. So, and that's oh God, the worst thing ever, Becky. You're going to laugh at me. Oh, I am a listener. I am not a reader. I have to listen to books because they make sense, and I make stories, and I follow along very easily. Reading has always been a problem for me because I have that level of ADD where I can read a sentence easily. I can read 2 sentences, but you put a whole paragraph in front of me, and oh my God. I read it like 5, 6 times, and I turn the page, and then I come back, and then I finally, it's like, no.
I think that's why I mark up all my books. I read it, mark it.
That's a good idea. So discovering my writing strategy, I mean, had me in tears. And when people use people like you, they don't, especially when you've got this problem, guys, if you're having any kind of problems with ADD or ADHD or the inability to read paragraphs, much less pages,
Right.
when you're actually writing the one paragraph, it's like asking your kid to go clean his room Okay. And then all of a sudden, after 3 hours, you walk in, the room's still a mess, but his drawer is, I mean, socks, underwear, in colors and rows. Done a hell of a job.
Yep.
One drawer. Okay. That's why you need your writing strategy. I was literally in tears writing this book because I couldn't make the paragraph flow to the next one. And I had to literally sit here and listen to my whole family try to help me with that. It still doesn't flow. I mean, I had to finally decide that I'm putting out my perfect imperfections.
I don't know if a book is ever perfect.
Thank you.
Because I think that we grow, and I go back and look at stuff that I've done, and I'm like, what was I thinking? But it's because we continue to grow. We don't stay in the same spot. And sometimes when we're writing, that's just where we are. But doesn't mean we're always going to stay there. But I know it totally transformed my life to write my book. And it's the same way, whether it's written for business or whatever, you gain so much clarity from going through the process.
It really did. So, back to the first question, how did I use my book to help my business grow? That way. I feel settled.
Right.
My brain feels like it stopped spinning.
Good.
I stopped chasing, little metal objects. I have a focus. I have the ability to talk about it. I have the ability to act upon it. I have the ability, when somebody says, "What do you do?" I bring it right up.
Right.
So that's the best thing that's helped me. Now here's your oh yeah, and of course, get booked, get seen, get heard. Use your book, right?
Yep.
Talk about it, and while you can, make some sales.
And you will. Back of the room sales are powerful at speaking events.
Exactly. Okay, so that's how I use my book. Now, I wanted to do a little gift for you, and I was explaining to you right before the show that I had and I'm not going to take credit for this because Mark Williams is the person who actually wrote this, but I felt that, if I could get this across and help you guys get this across to our readers and listeners, it's the 10 things you need to know about becoming rich. And by no means am I saying that I'm rich, but it's just a matter of time. I'll
Yes.
do it again. I've done it before. I can do it again.
Do it again. Yep.
All right. So would you like to move into that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Step number 1. There's the top things you need to know about becoming rich. Number 1, it's not how much you earn, it's how you spend it. So probably what I've been doing wrong most of the time is that I get, you get a paycheck and then you pay all your bills and you might have a couple of dollars left and then you put them in your purse and then they disappear on a cup of coffee. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Especially for us as entrepreneurs, yes, you set aside. I mean, even Elon Musk, when he first sold his first company, it became the second company, which was PayPal, by the way. So he invested 75% of his income from his first company that sold for $24 million to PayPal, put 75% of his income into that as a gamble. And of course, it was, it was so
Gone.
yeah, another one. So it's that ability to put away some money smartly is what really gave him the opportunity to invest in the next thing. And if we're thinking big like that, if we're ready to go, I mean, I'm not saying you and I are going to create $1 billion company in the next year, but you know what? In 5, maybe. I have every intention of doing that. So it's not how much you earn, it's how to spend it. And if you do want to spend it on yourself as a coach, healer, author, or entrepreneur, you need to invest in a mentor, a coach, or a program and leverage what they know and stop wasting time spending. So invest in yourself. My dad used to say, invest in education, nobody can take it away from you.
Right.
And that's where that comes in. So the next one, I liked it as well, is trim the fat. So what we've done even here is we've gotten off of cable. We're now just on streaming. all the TVs in the house are on streaming. You know, we've looked at changing our Verizon phone bill. We've looked at reducing our Comcast footprint, so to speak. You know, every little thing that we do, we're buying paper goods in bulk. You know, that lasts. I have enough paper towels to last a half a year right now. So,
Yeah.
so trimming the fat, just even a little bit at a time, it will make a difference in the future. Then number 3 is don't. Oh my gosh, please don't let your dreams fade into memory. And I think that's one of my favorite ones, is because so many of us think that if we can't afford it, we can't dream it.
Right.
And actually, you don't understand that the dream is what ignites your day. It ignites your year. It ignites your life to move forward. It gives you something to plan on. But at the same time, you know, you've got to keep it up here in front. So whether you've got a vision board or whether if you're like me, you've got, and I even travel with these, you're going to laugh. Look, my Post-it notes of what I'm doing, how I see myself.
Oh, really? That's very cool.
I have little Post-it notes, and I created my own little book of Post-it notes. It's just my little manifestations, you know, and affirmations that help me even when I'm in an airplane.
Yep.
So don't let your dreams fade into memory. And then, of course, this one, I've heard this over and over and over again. Please kill the blame game. It's nobody's fault. It's not even yours unless you stop dreaming and you stop giving and you give up. So kill the blame game. And you know who? Jay Facette wrote a great book called Reframe Your Blame. I love it. I highly encourage people to read it. He just put it down. It's like, stop blaming everybody else for what you're doing or not doing. You're the only one that counts. Number 5 is, of course, believe in yourself, and I really like that. He has something. He said, believe in yourself like your life depends on it, and master self-awareness. The reason for that is that you in here are going to be the first one that tells yourself you can't do it, you're not good enough, money's the root of all evil, all the silly things that we've heard for so long, you know, that we can change it. And we change it there by just believing in ourselves and mastering self-awareness. My mom used to say, when you think bad thoughts, you do this.
Yeah.
Throw it away like dandruff. Just say, get the hell out of here. Stop it. Okay. And then I've learned how to reframe. I was such a mom that every time I'd see a child doing something that was cute, I would see them falling and getting hurt. You know how you do that in your mind? It's like, I need to go stop him because he's going to get hurt. Never got hurt. I just needed to leave him alone because I was putting those thoughts in the child's head.
Right.
So stop doing that to yourself. Number 6 is, don't look out for number 1. I thought this was really interesting because everybody says, you know, make yourself number 1 and all that kind of stuff. I love this because what he's saying is to help others first. You put yourself in a position to serve and you will be served.
I love that. That's awesome.
I loved that one. Every single one of us has an altruistic self. Every single one of us. We believe in something. We give to someone. I don't care if it's PBS or I don't care if it's the Feed the Starving Children. Whatever the altruistic thing is that you do to make people feel good, look out for that. Mm-hmm. Be ready to serve, because when you serve, it will come back. And I love the next one. It says focus. There it is. Help others first, get in tune with your altruistic self. The next one is focus on creating value. One of the stories that I just presented in Vancouver this past weekend was about how I started a very small company. I mean, my entire company, my marketing was a $27 a month Yellow Pages ad. That's all I had to market myself. And I got a phone call one day, and it was from this huge corporation, and they wanted a computer trainer. And so I went in and realized that I was bidding against EDS and all of these major corporations that were international. And basically, I just, I delivered my bid, and then I left, and I pretty well thought, okay, there's no way. I don't even fit into this story building, right? I mean, I'm from Mission, Texas, for God's sake. Nothing taller than a palm tree in Mission. And I remember I got a call in a couple of days, and the lady, her name was Irene Yours. I'll never forget her. It was her first time being an IT secretary. She was an executive secretary, and they had left the decision up to her. And she called me and she says, Toni, she says, I need to tell you that I needed to make up my mind by today, and I didn't know who to pick, but I went to sleep last night and I prayed that I would pick the right one. And when I woke up this morning, all I could think of was the name, the Computer Help Desk, and that's your company. So you got the contract.
Wow.
That is, I mean, thank you, God. I got friends in high places.
That's right.
But that was the story of, you know, how I built from literally working out of my car to a $3 million corporation, 60 employees, 18 contractors in 18 months.
Wow.
And that's how I started my company that enabled me to be selected and appointed as the head of the transition team and President Bush's personal computer trainer. That's number 41, the daddy, H.W. Bush. And so, I mean, and when I asked the CTO who was taking me to lunch and tell me that I had been appointed to this job, when I asked him why, he says, because I was in charge of selecting the best computer trainer with the best support in the country. And that's you.
Wow.
And I'm like, and you're right. I mean, I wasn't focused on the money. I was focused on the value that we were creating.
Right. Create value.
And you never know who's watching. That's the other takeaway from this. You never know who's watching. So don't ask what should I write or speak about. By the way, I love to say rich is a side effect of successful.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That is so cool.
So we're on number 8, focus on what's really important. And you notice I snuck in the little logo for my Virtually Yours company, because so many people are, like I said, are spinning and spinning and spinning because they don't know how to do a funnel. They don't know how to create this. They don't know how to deliver a talk. They don't even know how to stand up on a stage. They don't, they have so many things that why I can't. You guys stop spinning. If any of you who are listening are an entrepreneur, speaker, author, healer, coach, you're my market. And we have developed the most incredible little virtual assistants that you'll ever have. Virtual assistant, by the way, is just another name for your project manager. Mm-hmm. Because every one of those tasks that you have to do to create your business is run by projects. And Charles Salazar, who is our wonderful, our other director on this show right now.
Love Charles. Marvelous.
Charles is like the king of Trello boards, and he is so good at putting every single detail on every single client, on every single project. And then we assign that to your dedicated virtual assistant, or your dedicated project manager, or your producer. Like in this show, our producer took care of making sure all the speakers were in line, everybody had their information, and that kind of thing.
And she did an amazing job, because that was a lot of work.
I agree. Thank you, Nikki.
Yes,
Nikki's our hero today.
Wonderful.
Hey, Nikki.
So focus on what's really important. Our logo, so to speak, our slogan for our company is do what you do best and leave the rest to us.
Well, I can say that I think Natalie and this has been first class example for us, because I have that tendency is think I can do it all. And then you get so overwhelmed with everything that has to be done that you're never able to focus on what really needs to be, or where your sweet spot is.
Right. And you know
And
what, guys, by the way, I'm so impressed with your ability to host. Not only are you excellent businesswomen, but you're excellent in front of a camera.
uh-huh.
Thank you. That is something that I definitely want to develop. So that's good. I'm on the way.
You're doing great. All right, number 9 is Oh my gosh, is this like everybody's problem?
Yeah.
Learn how to prioritize.
Yep.
What I did here is I created one idea. Put your most important tasks, appointments, and deadlines on Google, because right now that's the one that shares through everything. And then share or sync them across your platforms. But at least you've got one place that hits your phone, it hits your computer, it hits your iPad, and you've got everything in one place. So that helps you even when you're traveling. And so that's kind of a really good. Oh, I love this one. Create rituals and habits. You know what I did when I was recovering from a near death, when I got hit by the 2x4 I was telling you about, you were bedridden, and I created something I called the 30-30. And you pick your own 30-30s, but mine just happened to be 30 days of at least 2 30-minute shows, and one of them was Joel Osteen, and the other one was Joyce Myers. And Joyce reminds me of my big sister. I mean, they have that same, I'm going to beat you up if you don't do what I say attitude. Right. So I would do that, and then I created another ritual, which basically was I made my bed. And to this day, I still get up and I'll make the bed, because that's at least it's a win. You've got to win.
Right.
Sometimes you just need one win.
One win. Yep.
It makes such a difference when you walk into your room and it's all put together.
I feel like a hotel, It feels right. And the last one, so that I don't want to take too much of your time. Treat your problems as stepping stones, not roadblocks.
Yeah.
Because there's an old saying that said that God will never send you something that you can't handle. And I always saw every challenge as a fence. And I always thought a woman who couldn't climb a fence wasn't worth her weight in anything, okay? Riding a horse, riding a pickup, and climbing a fence. You got to do it. Every fence that we jump over just becomes a bigger fence. And then we have to learn how to jump over that one, and then you get the bigger one, and you have to learn how to jump over that one. But
now it's a skyscraper.
I know. Mine was, exactly. So I really feel that that's a good way to do it. So if you're ready, I think we've got some surprises for you here.
We are ready.
Okay, I think we're ready for the gifts. And yeah, don't wait. I mean, even the smallest change that you can make in a positive note,
Right,
is a good one. And I really do. I heard you all say in one of your episodes where you were speaking that if anyone has even the seed of an idea for a book in their minds, talk to them, talk to these folks, because those seeds can become a tree very quickly.
Very much.
So, all right, here you go. Don't be a lone wolf. VIPs, are you ready for this? We are giving away 10 hours in 90 days of a dedicated VA to help them with their favorite project.
Woo-hoo.
Okay? That's a $250, straight up value. So, just sign up as a VIP and you'll automatically have this. We'll do that. And then ready for the next one? Plus.
Yeah.
VIPs only. You will have the opportunity to get that dream going, be seen, and get heard as a reserved guest interview on my world-class mentors.
Wow.
On my show. So, put it together. I'd love to hear about your book for 30 minutes on my show.
Nice.
You be careful what you wish for.
This is incredible.
All right. And then that's the plus. And then we'd like to get to the offer, by the way. The offer is KDDM Works, our new VA program called Virtually Yours, is offering 20 hours per month for the next 3 months of a dedicated VA. That's like the minimum package that we have. That package runs $500 a month. So for 3 months, we're going to get you a $1,500 package, only sold here through your event for $997.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's totally,
right.
Wow.
So love to see you take care of that. Love to see you take it. There's our links. And we'd love to play with you.
Oh, you are so awesome. Mm. Wow, Toni, this has been so refreshing. It's so beautiful. We just love your sparkle, your wisdom, all that comes with everything that you do and what you do as in such powerful ways to give back to the world. Awesome.
And we've
What it's
met.
all about, Becky. I mean, you get old enough, you look really smart or you look really good. All we need is the money that Sharon has so we can everything.
Well, we've had the chance to work together and see you with your team at different events, and your team is top notch. We love working. We haven't found any of them that don't go above and beyond to serve. So
thank you. I would like to mention that we have a special love, not only for the millennials, but so many of our VAs belong to the LGBTQ community. And we take, it's an honor to get to train them on Thinkific, Kajabi, Cardtruck, ClickFunnels, MailChimp, all of the tools that our clients use. And every Wednesday they spend an hour in training, learning that new thing so that we can keep them on top of the curve and taking care of our clients the best way. And I tell you what, it's been an absolute delight to work with these folks.
Wonderful.
They really care. They really care. And for anyone out there who's thinking of hiring people, I really encourage you to look for the kids at the LGBTQ community, because so many of them have been. It's not racism. It's just they don't get the opportunities because people don't want to hire them.
discriminated.
Discrimination.
Yeah, they get discriminated against. So we're very happy and very proud that we don't. We offer a bright light, and we love to have them. And I think all of our clients, they fall in love with them. So they want to own them. They adopt them.
We want to adopt a few, please.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Becky.
Thank you. Thank you.